Hello, everyone. It's Maddy from Create Your Future. So, I wanted to create a little video today about things falling apart in your current reality after you start manifesting, why that is, and kind of changing your perspective a little bit on what's going on outside of you, why it's occurring, and how to fix it. So, if you are watching this video, I am currently on maternity leave. So, I am not available for coaching right now, unfortunately, but I will be back soon. I do have a course that I came out with called Master Manifester. It does focus on three different areas. So, I did kind of include an encompassing theme of everything that can help you out. I do include affirmations in there, a 30-day guide to really get your mind focused on how to manifest the life of your dreams and just really trying to be there for you every step of the way. So if you're interested in that, you can look at that down below. It will be in the description box. If you do not want to check it out, just check out my videos. There's a lot of free content on here that can help you out that I love putting out. I know other coaches have loved putting out as well, and you can get some great advice there as well. And we still are having a contest. If you're interested in knowing more about the contest, that will also be down below. And then I always say this in every video of mine is that I love seeing your guys' comments. I love seeing things that you're manifesting. So comment down below. Tell me what you've been manifesting. I love to intend with you guys. And I love to also encourage those so that they can feel like they're really getting somewhere with their journey. And yeah, so let's get into the video. And so sorry, you saw my dog a little bit with her little ears pop up there for a second. She might make some noise through this video. She's a little loud. She's a German Shepherd Husky mix named Ruka. So super cute. But side note, so when it comes to manifesting things in your current reality, let's say your life's kind of taken a sideways. So I'll come up from a perspective of, let's say you may have gotten coaching or you may have watched some of our videos and tried some techniques, done some things that you saw a lot of movement. You started seeing some really positive changes in your life. Your affirmations are working. You're really starting to feel like you're getting somewhere. You're really feeling hyped up, and then all of a sudden things just kind of take a turn for the worst, right? I've seen this countless times. I've seen it in my own life. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. This is why it happens. So when you were starting to manifest, you were coming from a perspective of your old self-concept. So when I say self-concept, I don't necessarily mean you just affirming that you're worthy and deserving or only focusing on yourself. You also are changing the story about, let's say, your person, health, money. Maybe you want to buy a house, a car, whatever it is, right? So you are changing that perspective. You may have had beliefs that are pretty deep rooted for a long time, and maybe not for a long time, but sometimes there's a transitional period in between. So when you do have those transitional periods, do not be angry if something takes the path of least resistance and it looks like the opposite. Yes, you are human. You are allowed to feel the things that you need to feel. I totally understand if you feel disheartened and if you need to take a moment to really just be with yourself and be unconditionally loving to yourself. I'm a huge advocate for that. But at the same time, you need to find a comfort place within yourself to say, you know what? I deserve more than this. And this is why I might be getting these results, is because I decided at the old state when I was seeing all this stuff that I didn't like, all this negative story that I didn't like or I wanted to break, that I deserve more and that I could get more and that I am destined for more. So therefore, things have to shift. Sorry, they can't stay the same. And so to get there, sometimes that negative things will happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen every time. Doesn't mean you're always going to go through a transitional period like this. But when it comes to things that feel really big for us, we might have a lot of resistance towards, and maybe we have different layers of negative story towards, maybe stemming from childhood, or maybe it's been like a few years that we've had it. We need to meet ourselves where we are at now every step of the way. Tell ourselves it's okay. and that we're growing and that we're expanding. This is why it happens. Everything has to shift. Everything has to come from a different place. If things were always going to be butterflies and rainbows all the time, then we wouldn't, have these channels. We wouldn't have this advice. So that's the thing, is all of us have experienced things like this. That's why we can give this advice, and that's why we can help you along the way, is that we have all been there. Not everything is perfect in life, and that's okay. And we can intend that everything in our life is perfect, and you'll see that shift. So that's where we come from when we say, when you go through your transitional period. But I just want to give a few examples of how to deal with that, how you can come from a place of shifting your perspective to what is going on instead of feeling really disheartened the whole time. So let's just say I'm manifesting a car, right? I actually did this before. This is actually a story of mine. So I can come from a place of knowing exactly what this looks like and how I did not expect this story to unfold this way, but it's exactly how it happened. And I actually got like 2 manifestations in one, which is very interesting to me. I didn't see that it was going to happen that way at all. So that's also inspired action, by the way. We'll get into that a little bit as well. So let's say I'm manifesting a car. At the time I was driving a Jeep. I wasn't like super in love with it. It was okay. I thought I would love it more. And then when I got it, I was like, nah, it's okay. But I wanted something else. I was kind of getting more into like cars and doing like decals on cars and things like that. And that's one of my hobbies now. And I was like, "Oh, I just want something a little bit more sporty," right? I remember having that thought of, I just want something a little bit more sporty. And I was also trying to manifest money at the same time. I did not think both would correlate together, but it ended up working out that way. So how the story unfolded was I was actually on my way to, oh, and side note, I was also manifesting that I had perfect health. So the like technically it was 3. Okay, so anyways, I was driving down the street and I was stopped at a stoplight and this Dodge Ram ran into me at 50 miles an hour. I actually ended up having to go to the hospital that day. My car would not start. It was a brand new car, by the way. I hadn't even gotten my license plate for it yet. So I could have still like taken it back to the dealership. And that's something that I was kind of planning on doing. And that's how I kind of thought at the moment that's probably how I'd get my new car, like the more sporty one, is I return the other one and then I just trade it in for a new one. But I got ran into 50 miles an hour, went to the hospital, found out I had a concussion that turned into a TBI. And so I had to go and get a lot of physical therapy, things like that. And I also had to go get a lot of like chiropractic care. So what ended up happening was they opened up a case to essentially get money for the car and for the damages that were done to like me physically. So over the course of that year, I actually got into the best physical shape of my life, not only through chiropractic, but I also ended up being able to work out more. I got compensated a lot of money. I got a brand new car that I actually really wanted. I actually put it on a vision board that year, funny enough. And when I went to the dealership, that's the only car that I got approved for, which is really funny. And yeah, so if that kind of gives you like a little bit of perspective of sometimes things like do take a shift. I could have come from a perspective of like everything is going wrong. Oh my gosh, like my life is falling apart. Woe is me, I'm a victim, things like that. But I really kind of took it as an opportunity of, I mean, in the moment I was a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I'm in a neck brace. Like, what's happening? Is this gonna be okay? But then I just kept affirming that everything's always working out for me. I always see how things unfolded exactly the way I wanted them to. And now I have more of a story that things unfold a little bit more, nicely. Instead of, things kind of fall apart before they get better. That's a pretty widely known belief system out there, is that things get worse before they get better. I'm sure we've heard it 1,000 times out in society. Our friends have probably said it all the time, parents, whatever. It's a very widely known thing. So that could also be why your transitional period might seem like things are falling apart, is that one belief system. So if that's the case, one of the affirmations you could use if you would like to change that is that my transitional periods are always enjoyable. They're always smooth. I'm always getting positive outcomes, things like that. So that's what I started affirming. I don't really have those kind of experiences anymore, if I'm being honest. It did take some work and some rewiring for me personally, but that's just an example to kind of encourage you guys with, okay, so the transitional period isn't always like pretty. It's going to take the path of least resistance based off of how things are going right now. It might not always look desirable, but you still get what you want in the end. And that's why I wanted to encourage you guys with that story, is that I did get everything I wanted in the end. I got everything I wanted and more, actually, like way more. And I receive way more money now and than I thought I would, just because of that one thing that occurred in my life. And I love my car. My car is amazing and it's everything I could ever want. Same with my health. So, yeah. If that gives you any encouragement, I intend it does, and that you can like kind of change your relationship to it. So I'll get into that a little bit, as well as how you can change your relationship to it. I did kind of say like how my mindset shifted a little bit and how I chose to kind of stand in my power. But just to break it down a little bit more, is that I would encourage you guys and really stress enough to find a place where you come to like more neutrality, come from a place of, this is where I'm at right now. This is how I feel. If you feel disheartened, if you feel disappointed, sad, whatever it is, it's okay. Tell yourself that. You don't have to run away from it. It doesn't mean it has to keep manifesting. The more you fear something, the more it manifests. That's why we always see things that we're so fearful of manifest so quickly, is because we keep giving it so much importance and we keep giving it so much focus that it will manifest that much faster. So how about we take that energy instead of fear and say, to the degree of which I have seen a lot of negativity today or this week or whatever, is the degree of which I'm going to come out on top of this. And I'm going to see all the results that I want. And this is exactly how I'm going to get exactly what I want. So instead of coming from a victim mentality, or that, everything bad happens to you, or you're unlucky in life, or, stories like that, you come from a place of, this is just bringing me what I want. Yeah, it wasn't totally desirable. It wasn't something that I really, like envision myself on how I'd get there. But I know the law of assumption works. I know that this is only working in my favor. And I'm just going to sit here and trust and know that everything that I want is coming to me in the right time, in the right place, exactly how it's meant to. So you don't have to say time or place. You don't have to do that. Sometimes it's more encouraging for people because they focus a lot on time, or like, when is it coming? How is it coming? So you don't have to put time on it, but you can also invite it to come even faster if you're like, it doesn't matter when it happens. I just know that this works and it's going to happen whenever that does, So you're inviting yourself into what I like to call as answer mode. So instead of filling your life with how does this happen and chasing after it, you're basically in question mode. So you're not allowing yourself to receive it when it might, like, I'll give you a visual. Let's just say that someone's knocking at your door with a package, and you're sitting there just trying to figure out how you're going to get this package, but they're literally standing right there and you don't see them because you're so busy trying to figure out how you're getting this package or how you're going to get this thing. And there's like patiently waiting, like, are you going to answer your door? I see you walking and like scrambling all over your house. And you're like, no, I need to find it. I need to find the answer. I can't find it, stuff like that. Then when you kind of settle down, and I really advocate for doing breath work and coming to a neutral place. I've said in other videos, just taking time to do some breath work, come to a neutral place, centralizing your nervous system, and then coming back from a clearer mind so you can intend and have a better mindset, better mental diet, set yourself up for success. So finally, you're done wrestling around. You see the guy with the package, he waves at you and is like, okay, so are you ready to get your package? You're like, yes, oh my gosh, I've been wondering when it's coming. It was there the whole time. It was just waiting for you to come to a place of receiving. So that's another affirmation you could do is, I'm always in receiving mode. I always receive. Every single day I receive the things that I want. It's a really easy affirmation. Everything is conformed exactly the way I want it to. Everything is shifted. Things can shift at any moment. So it doesn't always have to come from you affirming like, oh, I'm in a transitional period. That's right. We want to come out of that. We can recognize that we're in a transitional period and say like, well, everything's conforming. And then we're like, well, I intend that everything already has conformed in my favor exactly the way I want it to. And I'm receiving and I create the results that I want, period. Standing in our power, deciding to stand in our power and say, I'm not a victim to this life. I'm not a victim to my old story. I don't have to keep saying this story. This is not just about an old story. Like, obviously, I wanted to shift from it. So everything else has to shift with me. So if everything else has to shift with me, things are going to change. So keep believing in yourself. Keep affirming that things are always working out in your favor, because it does. Take it from me. I definitely know, especially from somebody that had a story saying things get worse before they get better. If you have that story, it's okay. You're seeing it now. So I intend that everybody that needs to watch this video has found it and you found it helpful, and get all the success in the world. And if you would like to book with me after I am off maternity leave, I would love to help you get exactly what you want and make everything work in your favor. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy manifesting. Bye.